Greetings, ladies and gents, and welcome to this latest edition of Tales from Outer Space, where I take stories from across the internet and read them for your entertainment. This particular story is called There Is No Escape, written by ComposedAnarchy. So, we've detected some sort of anomaly in the void, a few light years away. What kind of anomaly, crewman? Commander Xanis had been at the main console on the bridge reviewing some fleet deployment figures. It seems to be some kind of wormhole, we aren't entirely sure, but some of the energy sector just seemed to match the profile of Project Veritas. The commander now looked up from his console and gave the crewman his full attention. Veritas, you say? Very interesting. Helm, set a course and engage FTL. The Londonian Empire was a powerful and war-hungry nation that had been tearing their way through the galaxy for the last 300 years. Nation after nation, race after race, had fallen under the weight of their boots as they waged their war of total domination. Not even the mighty Terran Federation had been able to put up much of a fight. Project Veritas was some sort of last-ditch hope in the wind the humans had begun to cook up as they were pushed to their last few star systems. From the information that the Ladoners had intercepted regarding the humans had comically thought were securely encrypted messages, the project involved some sort of interdimensional portal technology. Ladonan intelligence believed that the humans were attempting to escape their fate by ripping open a portal to an alternate dimension that they could flee into. Commander Xanis was grinning as he looked out the windows of the bridge and imagining the promotion he would have in store once he had secured the portal for the Lindonan Empire, allowing his great people yet another avenue of conquest. Once we drop out of FTL, the rest of the fleet will establish a blockade. If those Terrans think that we will allow them to escape their fates, then they have another thing coming. Yes, sir. A couple of hours later, in position near the portal. Sir, the blockade is established. If those Terran cowards come here trying to escape, they will be met with only death. Wonderful. Now we only need to lie in wait. A workstation on the one side of the bridge began to beep and trill an alarm. Report, crewman. Energy fluctuations from the portal, sir. The portal before them began to warp and shift as it brightened and then collapsed and disappeared. What happened? Sir, the portal has collapsed, but we are detecting some sort of life pod having emerged from it. 3 life signs aboard in stasis. They seem to be human. Mostly human, at least. Capture that pod. I want it on the retrieval deck immediately. Yes, sir. Activating tractor array. Commander Xanis left the bridge and took the lift down to the retrieval deck. What do we have, xenobiologist? Definitely human, sir. 3 in the stasis. Are we able to open it? Not that we can discern so far. Stow that cargo. We'll bring it before the Emperor. All those humans have managed, in their cowardly attempts at escape, is to bring us 3 prisoners. Ha! What's the lettering on the exterior? Sir, we are working on the translation, but it'll take some time. It appears to be written in an ancient human script. Very well. Once we have it deciphered, you'll report to me on the bridge. Xanis returned to the bridge and ordered a course set for the Londonan capital world. Once there, he took a shuttle down to the Emperor's court to report on the situation. Exalted Emperor, we have brought you the life pod that we captured from the portal the humans opened with Project Veritas. Good work, Commander. Laughable. Even their attempts to escape this plane of existence were in vain. And now we have 3 prisoners to interrogate before we capture the portal equipment for ourselves. You have done well, Xanis. You will be the tip of the spear when we invade this parallel universe. I'm sure you will bring great honor to your house in the name of the Lindonan Empire. Xanis saluted, left the Emperor's chamber, and returned to his battle cruiser. Sir? We have a report on the life pod. What of it, crewman? We have determined that the stasis pod will awaken the 3 occupants in 2 hours, and we've translated the lettering we found on the side of it, although we aren't sure what it means. What does it say, crewman? Astartes. Well, it matters not. Once they awaken, they'll be subdued and interrogated. The glory of the Lindonan Empire's invasion on the universe will be assured. That was the last time a Lindonan had a positive thought before their existence was snuffed from the cosmos. Story number 2. Prison Letter, written by Sad Ice King. A letter from a newly incarcerated inmate at Jutvan Minimum Security Mercantile Prison. Lyan. Would you believe me if I told you I was here on purpose? I appreciate the offer for monetary aid for specific use in legal counsel, but I think I'll see out my sentence in peace, through its entirety, before I begin the story proper. I am told that you have taken over my clients while I'm gone. Please, whatever you do not try to short a human. Here's why. Since I'm in prison, clearly my guilt has been documented and affirmed, so I'll not now deny it here to you. I withheld full payment from a human client. I promised some certain payments and returns on certain investments that was left with me, and, from the beginning, I had no interest in repaying in full. Humans are new to our investment market, and so I thought them easy prey to schemes and dishonest practices. His payment was delivered, and my return was limited by a factor of at least 10. The human, at first, was understanding. According to him, they have very aggressive investments on his own planet, and this was not unheard of. How could I not take advantage of this easy mark again? So I did. He paid me with the promise of a return. In fact, I used those words. I was foolish, giving my word and binding verbal agreement. I thought he was naive and uneducated, so wouldn't know the law. I know that he didn't know that after word given, I owed him his initial investment back, even if I couldn't report profit that covered it. I withheld all returns and blocked the communication from my comm. I even celebrated with my crew. The first communication was blocked a message that mimicked one of the ships in my fleet. I expected an encrypted message from them, warning of some legal reprisal. I did get a warning, but not one of my people. His face appeared on my screen, and my body froze. It felt as if he were looking into me, directly through my head, as if he could see what I'd done. I knew that it was just a message, but it felt as though he were there with me. He spoke, and his tone was even, but I knew there was something beneath it. Hello. We've had 2 business dealings in the past. The first did not end favorably, though I assumed it was normal fading of a return, despite the large losses. Then the second dealing. I would have accepted another loss, most likely. I would have thanked you and moved my business along, as we obviously couldn't make anything work. You, however, made it clear that there was a fault to be assigned. You blacked my name from your list. That's when I knew this was purposeful. As far as I see, you owe me what I paid you at the start of our second transaction. I have attached the account information where the money can be deposited. Have a pleasant day. I expect a return in a week's time. Then the screen went black. I ignored it, obviously, thinking that he had no course of recourse. I was wrong, which I learned in our second meeting. He stood in one of my shops, a black suit of the Shushan variety. He didn't look as intimidating when we first met. He stood tall and straight, looking down at me, his hands clasped behind his back. His eyes were cold and hard, his jawline set. I've come for my payment. You are more than a month late, and I think that I should charge interest. Clearly, you have the means. I waited for him to go on. His message was lengthy, and I expected his speech to be as well. He didn't. He stood staring at me. I assured him that I did not know what he was talking about, but if he had any inquiries or complaints, he could file it directly with my own complaint team. Or he could go to the Mercantile Guild representative and begin the process of investigation into the matter, though that would take some time. I've already opened the investigation. I did so as soon as I learned that you blacked my name. I now have been told that your word, the word you assured me was good, given to cover my interest is due, no more or less. Here is the bill of sale you issued me with, a copy, of course, and the record of our conversation in which you issued that verbal contract. I expect my payment in due course. With that, he left. Now I have dealt with the Mercantile Guild and their investigations before, and I know how long it takes for them to do anything. A long, long time. I closed that shop and moved on to other business. There was one more interaction between us. I'd hired a guard. I have heard stories of humans and their appetite for violence. I would take no chances with this one. He tailed me everywhere I went, and for another month there was nothing. I wasn't sure if he'd given up, if he was waiting for the guild to come through, or if he was just waiting. Then I turned one day, and the guard was gone. No sound was made, no sudden action or cue, just gone. I knew then that I had pushed too hard. The street was not much crowded, so I ran. The car I had hired was close, and I jumped in a minute later, only to find There was no driver. The door opened, and he stepped in, sitting across from me in the compartment. He wore a similar suit, but the color was a shade darker. I don't like violence. He looked out the window as he spoke in a dull tone. You know my people's reputation for it, and yet you still test me. We are resourceful, on top of what you've heard. It's part of why we are so powerful so quickly. We know what to do and when, how to get what we want, and what we should want in order to get where we want to be. My man, he would have intended harm to me. He finally looked over. I nodded. Good. Then I have less guilt for what I have done. The hospital staff was briefed on your information. They should contact you when he's stable, which I'm sure he will be. He looked away again. I am precise, sir, and atop that I am unhappy. I've been issued a warrant signed by the mercantile. Impossible. I pounded a hand against the window. They did not issue warrants so quickly. He must be lying. His whole facade will be revealed. Now, demand you show me the writ. There is no way that you can have one. I know the Magister there, and he would not allow this to happen without telling me. You have seen by now that we are persistent. He took an envelope from a pocket inside his jacket and handed it to me, the seal unbroken. You know that we see anything we pursue through to the end. This is no exception. I hadn't opened it yet. I still stared at the official typed title on the envelope. Warrant, arrest, past debts owed. It seemed real enough. You owe me the original amount plus 40, reimbursement for time and expenses. If you do not pay by the end of today, I'll give you until the end of tomorrow until I come for you. He stepped out and was gone. I didn't have the money anymore. I couldn't live with the idea of this human showing up somewhere, maybe near someone I could care about, and taking me, or hurting someone, or any number of things. I know that you have some time. The next day, I went to the guild and admitted myself for prison time. He watched them intake me from the waiting room. Don't try to outwit or outweight a human. It is not worth it. Just do business the best of your ability and bid them good day. End of story. I'd quickly like to thank the T5 peeps: Cold War Boomerwaffen, Severin Cerberus, Bushmaster 177, Henry the Red, Caspar Arnholtz, Cold War Boomerwaffen, Elijah Silvercross, Dragzoon WRE, and Severin Cerberus. Thank you very much.